All right, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Josh. Hello from the Canadian College of English Language in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. How is everybody doing today? I hope everyone's doing very well. We have a lot of people already in the chat room. I'd like to say hello to everybody in the chat room. I hope everyone's doing well today. We have Maya and Pilar. Lali is here. I remember her from last time. She's from France. I think you're from France, right? Imad, GK Al-Qurashi, and Percy. Percy, where are you from? Muad. Hello, how are you today? All right. Last week, we started looking at conditionals, and we were looking mostly at the zero conditional, and I think a little bit at the first conditional. And the zero conditional is to talk about habits or things that happen again and again, facts, scientific facts. You can use it for talking about processes and also giving advice. Peru. Awesome. You're living in Brazil. Why did you move from Peru to Brazil? Okay, so that's Percy there. Pilar's from Colombia. Oh, nice. Yeah, okay. I'm going to remember this eventually. Sinara, where are you from? Okay. Very good. So we are using the Smrt system, and this is the system we use at Canadian College of English Language to deliver our lessons. Today we're going to be doing a grammar lesson, and this will be conditional sentences. And we are looking today at the second conditional. The second conditional. Let's look at the example first. I want to go on vacation, but I don't have any time. That's the real situation right now. It's the real situation. It's the real situation for me. Well, but I don't want to go on vacation right now. But actually, it's not the real situation for me. But just imagine it was. Okay, so if I had more time, I would go to Hawaii. I don't have enough time right now, so I can't go to Hawaii. It's impossible. So the second conditional can talk about impossible things right now, or it can talk about things that are highly unlikely in the future. Okay? It's things that are almost impossible. Lali, I'm glad you like grammar. That's amazing. I also like grammar. Pilar also, that's good. And Sinara, you're from Brazil. Okay, welcome. Let's see. Okay, let's continue from there. So what is the structure? The structure of the second conditional. We have the if. We have if, and then we need a past verb. It looks like the past tense, but you'll see that it's not the past tense. And then that's in the first clause. And then in the second clause, we have would and could plus an infinitive. Okay, would is like will, so it's your intent. It's almost definite. It's your definite plan, right? You definitely want to do it. And then could just describes a possibility. It's possible. Okay. If the condition were true, this would be possible, or this would happen. Okay, so we're talking about impossible situations today. We'll look at some more examples soon. Oh, thank you, Hector. Hector, thank you so much. I'm going to explain it more if other people need more explanation to make it even more clear. Had plus past. Okay, Michele Lopez. So you're talking about the third conditional, to talk about things that happen, talking about the past, but it's impossible in the past. Okay? Second conditional is talking about now, and it's impossible now, or it's highly unlikely in the future. So let's look at some examples here. So in the first part, the first clause, we have if, and then we have a subject. It could be Lolly. If Lolly had what? If Lolly had $1 million, and then we have the next clause. Lolly, she could buy an apartment in Vancouver. Okay, so maybe Lolly doesn't have $1 million, so it's not possible, just for example. Okay. So we can use the positive, we can use positive verbs, or we could use the negative form. So if she had, if she didn't have, if I knew, if I didn't know. Okay, and we can also use the positive or negative of would or could in the second clause. Okay, I would go, I wouldn't go. I could go, I couldn't go. Okay, so let's see. For example, okay, let's do a negative example. If I couldn't speak English, if I didn't know English, I couldn't teach you this lesson, basically. Okay, so that's a negative example. Oh my God, Lolly, okay, Lolly is saying if she had $1 million, she could share it with me. She's not saying that she would share it with me, but she could. Well, that's true. It's a possibility. That would be great. That would be great if you would share it with me. That would be even better. But thank you. Thank you for that example. Okay, Michele, let me explain it one more time. We'll just take a little break from the lesson page, and we'll just go into our work page, okay? So if plus past and would and could. So what it means is this, okay? It's when we imagine a situation now or in the future that is impossible or highly unlikely. Okay? Almost impossible. Okay? So we're actually imagining it could be the opposite of reality, the opposite of what's true, or something different from what's true. Oh my goodness. That is a nice compliment there. That's a good example. Here, I'm gonna write that there because I'm gonna write it on this page because it makes me look good. If I had a teacher like Josh, and you need a comma, okay? If you have the if clause at the start, at the head of the sentence, you'll need a comma after that first clause, okay? If I had a teacher like Josh, I could be like a native speaker, a native English speaker. It's possible. Yes, it's definitely possible. That's a very nice compliment. I hope it's true. I hope that would be true. So you see here we have a comma after the first clause, and then we have could or would in the second clause, plus an infinitive. An infinitive is the original form of the verb. It's the verb unchanged before we change it. Oh, Sean, yeah, or Sean. Sean could also probably help you become like a native English speaker. Sean could probably improve your English skills enough to become like a native English speaker. Okay, nice. So this is an example. Does this explanation help you? So it's an imaginary situation taking place now or in the future. We're imagining a situation different from now or the future. Okay, so we'll just explain this a little bit more. So if I had a teacher like Josh, this means I don't have a teacher like Josh. Okay, the reality is he doesn't have a teacher like Josh. So he can't be like a native English speaker. Because being a native English speaker depends on having a teacher like Josh. Okay, for example, or any teacher at the Canadian College of English Language. Okay. Yeah, it helps me. Okay, good. I'm glad it helps you. Let's go back to the lesson. Let's see. So I'm going to read this. We use if plus the past, but it's not. Oh, this is something I didn't explain. But this grammar does not have a past meaning. Okay, we use the past form. But when it's included with if, it simply indicates that it's an impossible situation. Okay, it's an imaginary situation, now or in the future. So we use this grammar about the present or the future, okay? So if I had a car, we're not talking about yesterday, we're not talking about the past. It means now, having a car now, imagining having a car now. If I had a car, so we use the past, okay? The past simple. If I had a car, here we use the past simple. We could also use the past continuous or a passive form. I wouldn't need my bicycle. Okay, I wouldn't need my bicycle. Right? If you have a car, you don't need a bicycle. But you see, he doesn't have a car, so he has to use his bicycle. What is going on here? Wow, you're so nice. Could you tell me how to pronounce your name? Could you write it in the English alphabet, and then I could say your name? Second conditional talks about something in the past. No, Imad. Okay, that's a good question. The second conditional does not talk about something in the past. It talks about something now or in the future. If you want to talk about something in the past, you need to use the third conditional. Okay, third conditional. It's used to talk about an imaginary past. Okay, an imaginary past. And for the third conditional, we'll probably go deeper into it in the future, but I'll just give you a brief introduction. So we use if plus, we use had or hadn't, and then you need an infinitive, okay? Whoop. And then you need your comma. If is the first clause. If is the second clause, you don't need a comma. So if plus had, hadn't plus infinitive, and then we would use, for example, you could use would have or could have. There are other auxiliary verbs you could use, okay, and then plus another infinitive. Okay, so it's to talk about an imaginary past. I'll just give you an example. Maybe you can give an example. Okay, if I had enough money, I could study in Vancouver. Yeah, that's second conditional. Let's put that there first. If I had enough money, I could study in Vancouver. Yeah, but it means maybe you don't have enough money right now. You definitely don't have enough money right now, so you can't study in Vancouver. Okay, imagining a different reality, a different present. But the third conditional is talking about an imaginary past. So maybe it's something you regret, okay? Something you wish that you could change. What's going on here? Okay, Martha. Martha, you study in Vancouver at Canadian College of English Language? Do I know you? Maybe you have another teacher. Okay, is it infinitive or participle after had? Oh, good. Whoa, oh my God. Yeah, it's not an infinitive. Yeah, it is the past participle. Oh my goodness. So you need the, and then you need a past participle here. Oh my God. Okay. Thank you. Who said that? Dukesin. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm getting confused here. Yeah, it's the past participle. So let's do an example. Okay. If I hadn't no, that's a bad one. If I hadn't spent all my money at the casino yesterday, let's see. I wouldn't have been so sad this morning. Okay, so it's all the past. You're imagining a different result in the past because of something happening different in the past. So imagine, this is not true, okay? This is not true, but imagine it is true. I went to the casino yesterday and I spent all my money, all my savings. So when I woke up in the morning, I was so sad, right? This is not true, but just for example. Now we're imagining something different happening in the past. If I hadn't spent, past participle, right? If I hadn't spent all my money at the casino yesterday, it's the past, I wouldn't have been, this is the past participle, I wouldn't have been so sad this morning, also the past. Okay, so we'll talk more about the third conditional another day, right? If I were a good student, I would speak fluent English. But you know what, Lali, I think that you are a good student because you're actively learning and practicing the language, and that's what's most important. Maybe you just need to do it more often. You need to spend more time doing it. But what you're doing is good. If I had known he was coming to the party, I would have never come. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. That's great. That's very advanced stuff. Nice. What else? If I hadn't woken up so early, I wouldn't be so tired now. Oh, so you're mixing the conditionals, and you can also do that. You could mix the third conditional and the second conditional. You can do some mixing with conditionals. That's great. We can talk about that as well in the future. That's awesome. That's awesome. So let's go back to the second conditional. Your examples are great. Okay. Go back to the lesson here. Let's look at some more examples. Oh, I'm blocking it. So, okay, let's look at this. I could help you tonight. Okay, so this is future. It's highly unlikely. I could help you tonight if I didn't have to work. Okay, so we're talking about the work lasting until this time tonight. So it's a future, it's almost impossible. Okay, because the future could change, right? I could help you tonight if I didn't have to work, but I do have to work, so I can't help you tonight. Okay. Let's just practice like that. Can you give an example with if in the second clause? Okay, so let's flip it around. So here we have, if I had a teacher like Josh, I could be like a native English speaker. Let's flip it. I could be like a native English speaker. Here you don't need a comma. If is in the second clause, you don't need a comma. I could be like a native English speaker if I had a teacher like Josh. That's great. If I could be on that level of teachers that could help you become like a native English speaker, that would be an honor to be at that level. I hope that I am at that level, or that I can be at that level. Okay. If I hadn't gone to the soccer match, I wouldn't be tired. Okay, so that's correct. The grammar is correct. But what you're doing is you're mixing two conditionals. So it's not purely second conditional. I'll write it here, okay? Mixed conditionals. Mixed conditionals. So what you're doing is you're mixing the third conditional plus the second conditional. So what this means is changing something in the past changes something now, okay, or in the future. Okay, so changing something in the past changes something now or in the future. So I will use your example. If I hadn't gone to the soccer match, I wouldn't be tired right now, right? I wouldn't be tired now if in the past I hadn't gone to the soccer match. I didn't go to the soccer match. This is just imagining, right? A different past. For a third conditional, and a different present with second conditional, and it's mixed together. Oh, now that's excellent. Let's use Raphael's example because that's purely second conditional. We'll go back here. This is a purely second conditional example. Okay, so you said, I could hang out with you today, okay, right now, today, if I didn't have to do the housework, okay, but I have to do the housework, okay, so I can't hang out with you today. We're just imagining a different reality, a different now. Okay, let's go back. That's an excellent example. Oh my God, 3 a.m. Yes, you should go to sleep. But thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining this stream. I hope that you could practice a little bit. I hope it helped you a little bit. Oh, mixed conditional, Maya. If I were rich, I would have bought a house. Okay, wow. Okay, if I were rich, it's like in general, right? Second conditional. I would have bought a house in the past. Yeah, okay, so it's, you're extending the time, the general time of being rich into the past. Okay. I could be a teacher if I studied hard. Yes, you could. Definitely you could. had enough time, I could visit you in Vancouver. If I had enough time, I could visit you in Vancouver. That's great. Thank you. Yes, if... Uh-oh. Let me change that. Yeah. If I had enough time and money, I could visit you in your country. That would be cool. Okay, let's continue. If we had children, we would live in a bigger apartment. Okay, this is right now. If we had children now, we would live in a bigger apartment now. But we don't have children, so we can live in this smaller apartment. Okay, thank you. Thank you for joining today. I mean bought to the present moment. Maya, if I were rich, I would have bought a house. Okay, Maya, so you want to say right now? We wouldn't say would have bought. You would say I would buy. Aha, I see. You could say I would have a house. I would have a house. Okay. If I were rich, I would have a house. Right? It means that right now you would have a house. Oh my goodness. Okay, Vladimir, it's 3 a.m. in Ukraine, in the Ukraine. But it's impossible for me to start the stream earlier today because I finished the other classes at 4:10 p.m. And then 20 minutes later, I came here. So can we make a conditional sentence about that? Yeah. If I didn't have class until 4:10 p.m., I would... Whoa, no. Yeah. I would... What? Okay, wait a second. If I had enough money, I could study. Yeah, that's right. What's going on? Yeah, okay, I'm getting confused with third conditional and second conditional. Yeah, if I ended class earlier, I could teach you earlier. In general, but I don't. Yeah. So Maya, that's great. Yeah, and did you know what? Some studies show that if you study anything, like a language or some other subject, so we'll take English. If you study English before bed, it actually helps you. Okay, if you study English before sleep and then when you wake up, it has some additional benefits. You can actually retain more. Okay, so try to review before you sleep, and you might get some more benefits. Okay, let's continue here. Okay, let's look at a future example. It means it's almost impossible in the future. Whoop, let me move. Okay. We could go anywhere in the world if we bought a boat. Okay, so if we bought a boat in the future, we could go anywhere in the world in the future. Okay. Let's keep going. So let's just review. You can use if in the first clause at the head of the sentence, or you could use the if clause in the middle of the sentence after the first clause as the second clause. But there is no comma if you put it in the second clause position. See here, after class, there is no comma. But here, if is the first clause, so you need a comma. Okay. Let me read some of your examples, some of your comments. if I hadn't been so tired today, okay, let me correct that. That's a good example. But let's see. If I hadn't been so tired today, I would have seen the whole lesson today. Okay. Now this is talking about the past. This is third conditional. Okay. If you say this, it means it's finished. This is finished. Let's change it. If I weren't so tired today. Okay, so let's use second conditional. So it means you're still tired. You're still tired now. If I weren't so tired today, I would be able to see the whole lesson. Or I would see the whole lesson. I would watch the whole lesson. Okay. So this is second conditional, impossible now. Okay? It's impossible now. Here, let me show you these examples in this window here. So we'll go font size 18. If I hadn't been so tired today, I would have seen the whole lesson today. This is finished because this is third conditional. Okay, so imagining a different past. Now let's check the second conditional, what we're focusing on today mainly. Okay, I'll bring that over here from the chat. These are all from the chat. If I weren't so tired today, I would watch the whole lesson. So right now, it means maybe you're too tired, you're too sleepy, so you might not stay until the end of the lesson. Okay. So, manual. Okay, good. If you can buy a bolt, so you're rich, and you can buy a plane, and you can buy whatever you want. Yeah. That's it. Rodrigo. You would like to buy a plane. That would be great. I would like to buy a plane if I had enough money to buy a plane. If I had his phone number, I would call him. Who would you call? Just for an example, right? If I had his phone number, yeah, like maybe you meet some guy at the cafe or at the library or at school, right? At your language school, and you want his phone number, but you don't have his phone number. You like him, right? You have a crush on him. If I had his phone number, I would call him. Remember, you need a comma after the first clause if is at the head of the sentence, at the start of the sentence. Okay, you need your comma right there. Okay, let's switch it. I would call him if I had his phone number. Okay, no comma if is in the second clause, if it's in the middle. Oh, Maya, yeah, it's just an example. Right, okay. It took me a while. It took me a moment to figure that out. But it's a good example. If I was F1 driver, I would be a champion for sure. Fabricio, can I take your example? It's almost perfect. It's almost perfect. So let's bring it into this page here. If I was F1 driver, I would be a champion for sure. So you like driving fast. You're a very skilled driver, I guess. But we need to learn something else about the second conditional. It's true that was is the past, right? It's in the past, but there's something special about the second conditional. And let's go back to the Smrt page and let's learn about that. Okay? So you see here, you don't see was, you see were. Where is was? We're going to find out, okay? But let's read this. In this grammar, we usually say were as the past form of be. Was is okay, but were is better English. So we prefer to use were with the second conditional. It's a grammar rule, okay? It's the actual rule. We use were with the second conditional. We don't use was. If you're talking to your friends, if you're talking informally, you could use was. But it's better to use were. Okay? Were is perfect. Okay, so it's kind of strange, right? After you learn about the conjugation of the different pronouns with the be verb in the past, with past simple, you learn that it's I was, you were, he was, she was, it was, we were, they were. But with second conditional, the rule changes, and we just use were, and it helps us understand that it's the second conditional. It helps us understand that it's impossible. Okay, it's a sign. It's a marker. It helps us recognize that it's an impossible situation. Okay, it's the preference for second conditional. We use were. That's the rule. Okay, let's look at some comments here. If I were a movie star, perfect, were. If I were a movie star, you would meet me. That would be awesome. I like movies. I like movie stars. I like directors. I like film. And it would be great to meet a movie star. I don't know what I would say though, but I would like to meet one. Could you teach us about punctuation another time? Sure, Michaeli. We don't have to just stick to the punctuation. It's just the comma. That's the main thing you need to remember. I just have cash to buy a cycle right now. But if I win some lotto, I could buy the American Airlines. Yeah. American Airlines? Yeah, if you want, right? Some profitable airline with a good reputation. Maybe Cathay Pacific, or I forget. There's also an airline from the Emirates, right? If I wouldn't get distracted by the TV. Yeah. If I were not. Okay, I'm going to take your example too, Leticia. It's almost perfect. We need some we need some examples that we can fix. So, what are the errors? How can we fix them? Oops. Okay, thank you for these examples. They're almost perfect, and we're going to fix them right now. If I didn't have to work tomorrow, I could go to the beach and relax. Perfect, right? It's the future. It's a future situation, but it's impossible. I were. It looks so weird. Way weird. Yeah, Rodrigo, it does look weird. It's strange. But this is what we have to say. This is what we have to use when we're using the second conditional. Food AF, thanks. Thank you so much. By the way, Food AF has a great channel about food and cooking. Oh, everyone knows Kareem. Okay, good. All right. Okay, maybe I could buy. All right, this is awesome. Okay, if I could take a break from my job, I would live in another country for a while. Yeah. Yes. Good example. Okay. So, all right. Yeah, check out his channel, right? Check out Kareem's channel. It's good. Okay, we're going to correct these errors. Okay, let's make them perfect. They're great examples, but let's make them perfect. So we learned that with second conditional, maybe we shouldn't use was. It's better to use were. So let's change that. If I were an F1 driver, I would be champion for sure. Okay, so we changed was to were. And additionally, there's just one more thing. We should put the article. We should put an article, and we'll use the article, the indefinite article on. Uh-oh, what happened here? I decreased the size of the screen. Oh, here we go. So if I were an F1 driver, why do we say on and not a, right? Because we use a plus a consonant, right? And then we use on plus a vowel, right? That's what we thought, but actually, we need a plus a consonant sound. If you hear the consonant sound, you use a. If it's on with a vowel sound, so if you hear the sound of a vowel, you use un. Here, with F1, you hear first. That's a vowel sound. So an F1 driver. Okay? That's why we used on there. If I were you, I would teach you more advanced grammar. Okay, please. I could benefit from learning some more advanced grammar. Tushara, thank you. Maybe you can teach me some more advanced grammar. Okay. Oh my God, Rodrigo. I don't know if I should post your example. That's dangerous. If you have a wife, don't let her see that. Okay. Right. So, okay, let's look at the next example where we could change it. If I wouldn't distract on the TV. Okay. So another rule with all conditionals, or let's just look at second conditional. Here's the rule. Don't put would or could or some other auxiliary verbs that function in the second clause. Don't put would or could in the if clause. Okay. Put it in the clause after if or before if, but not with if. Gina, welcome. Welcome to this class. I hope that it can help you. I hope that you can practice. All right. McKaylee, oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. So don't put would, could in the if clause. So for example, let's change your example. If I were not, yeah. So if I were not distracted, so here distracted is being used as like a passive or an adjective. So if I weren't distracted by the TV. I didn't see what you wrote for the next part. But let's just change. Let's add something. If I weren't distracted by the TV, I would be paying more attention to the stream. Maybe. Okay. So this is second conditional. Okay. So we took would and could, and we put it into the second clause. Okay. Take it away from if. It cannot be with if. It's forbidden. It's like Romeo and Juliet. Okay. They are forbidden from ever marrying, from ever being together. So, all right. I hope that helps you. Does that help you? Yeah. Okay, so Raphael is saying, if a house were not so expensive, I could have one. Yeah. Make sure you use were, okay? Were and weren't. Mona. Hello, Mona. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I hope I am. Welcome to the stream. Pintu, you want to know how you can learn logical grammar. So these conditionals are logical, right? They're part of logical grammar. My only suggestion is that you watch our streams and you make suggestions like this, and you also take a look at smartenglish.com, smrtenglish.com. We have classes at every level of English, and we cover topics across the spectrum of English. Every kind of grammar you could want to know about, we have it here. So this would be a good place to start and to continue. It can take you all the way to academic English and beyond, actually, from the beginning to academic English or higher. Okay, let's continue. If I weren't so busy, I could go to the movies tonight. Yeah. Oh, that's too bad. Oh, that's a good example. I hope it's not a true example. What movie would you like to see? If you were not so busy, what movie would you see tonight? Here, let me ask you a chat question. If you went to the movies tonight, what movie would you see? Would you watch? Oh, Maleficent. Okay. It seems like that's a popular one these days. People are excited about Maleficent. How can I learn logical? Pintu. Okay, well, this lesson here is part of logical grammar, right? We're learning the second conditional. Okay, and it's logical. There's a condition, and then there's a result. Okay, it's logical. The result depends on the condition. Okay, it's very logical. This is a perfect example of logic. How can I learn? Maybe it's oh my god. All right. Some things that are said in the chat I cannot repeat with my voice. I cannot speak out. Let's see here. If I weren't distracted by New Streamer Part 32, I would finish writing TPR theory on my paper. Wow. So you're learning about teaching language, Gina? Wow. That's great. Okay, so Abdul, you have an example. Let me go back here. Abdul, where is your example? Can I do a control find on that? Abdul. Oh, okay. If I were you, I see it. If I were you, I would be gonna sleep earlier before this class started. Oh, do I look tired? Well, I am a little bit tired, but I'm still excited. Yes, I would have benefited from more sleep. Okay, let me use your example, Abdul. Let me use your example. Oh, Gina, great. Yeah, just make sure you read the proper books. Make sure you take the correct lessons. Make sure you prepare. Okay, let's go in with Abdul's example. And we'll increase the font. Okay, if I were you, I would be gonna sleep earlier before this class got started. So here it's a mixed conditional, and you're mixing now with the past. So this is a second conditional plus third conditional. And let's change it just a little bit. So if I were you, I would have slept earlier before this class started. No. I would have slept earlier before this class started. Wow. I'm confused right now. If I weren't distracted by making fun in my elementary school classes, I know what a second conditional is today. Okay, Mona, I have a question. I need more practice in reading and writing for my exam. What could you recommend for me to prepare for it? I need more practice in reading and writing for my exam. Yeah, so I would recommend VOA, Voice of America, for English, VOA English, okay? To help you with reading and listening. Okay, visit the VOA English website to help you with reading and listening. Or you could use the Smrt English page. Visit smartenglish.com for practice with writing, because we have many writing lessons. Okay. So let's see. Thanks a lot. Okay, good. I'd make some coffee, Vladimir. Yeah, I need some. I think I need some coffee. Pin to a book. A book off the top of my head. I forget the name. There are books. Just search online for grammar, books on grammar rules. You'll find a good one. And you can use smartenglish.com also. Okay, what else? Okay, oh nice. Okay. I've already gone on vacation. If I were you, I would have already gone on vacation. Good example, good example. Okay, let's, if I were you, I would have slept earlier. Before this class started. Okay, let's continue. And we're going to look and see if it's the past or present. Okay. So remember, we use if plus the past with would and could because something is imaginary or impossible. If something is possible, do not use this grammar. So we're contrasting here what's impossible or what is possible. Okay? So this is the impossible example. Mason is at a cafe, but there is no Wi-Fi. He can't check his email. It's impossible. So we imagine a different reality. If there were Wi-Fi in this cafe, I would check my email. Okay? So it's imagining a different reality, an imaginary reality. It's impossible. Okay, now let's look at a possible situation. Okay, so David is at a cafe and he's not sure if the cafe has Wi-Fi. So what does he say? If there is Wi-Fi in this cafe, I will check my email, because he's not sure yet. It's still possible that there could be Wi-Fi in the cafe. He doesn't know yet. So it's a possibility, so you can use first conditional. If it's true, I will check my email. Okay. Oh, let me move a little bit. Yeah, if there is Wi-Fi, I will check my email. Okay, so it's possible. We'll check example number 2. Okay, James wants to buy a new computer, but he doesn't have enough money. He doesn't have enough money. So he says, if I had enough money, I would buy a new computer. He doesn't have enough money. So if I had enough money, it's the second conditional. So we make it look like it's the past. Okay, if I had. And then I would buy a new computer. It's his definite plan. Okay, he's using would. Could, it's possible. Would, definitely. And then for just one more example here, for something that is possible, Susan wants to buy a new computer. She may have enough money in the future. Maybe. If I have enough money in the future, I will buy a new computer. Okay, so it's possible. It's possible. Not guaranteed, but possible. Okay, so I hope that distinction helps you. Let's take a look at some of the chat. I'm going back and forth between the lesson and the chat. Okay, let's see. Oh my God, Pedro. Okay, that's I'm glad you're not an alien, and I'm glad that's just an example. Okay. Okay. So Pedro says, if I were an alien, I would wipe out all of humanity. Oh my God. Oh my God. If the cafe weren't so packed, I would stay here a little longer. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. See, that's the fun part of second conditional. You could come up with some like wild examples, right? Because it's all imaginary. You could make some very imaginative wild, creative examples. You could use it for any kind of thing you're imagining. Okay, nice, nice. Mona, okay, that's good. Okay, if he were smart, he would use his credit card. Ooh, yeah. Sometimes the credit card is a good idea. It's a good idea to use a credit card. Sometimes you need to limit yourself, right? What else? If I study hard, I will pass the IELTS exam. Vladimir, all right, that's possible, right? First conditional. Okay. Oh, Maya, thank you. Okay, at first I was a little bit shocked, but I like it. I like this. Make it as open as you want. Okay, be as creative as you would like. But anyways, wow, we are out of time for today. It's 5:31. Let me send you the link to the notes from the lesson, and that can hopefully that can help you a little bit. Save. I'm going to copy the link here and put it right into the chat. So I'll just write class notes. Boom. And there's the link, and I hope it works for you. I'd like to thank everybody for joining today, and I'll be here again next Thursday at the same time. And if you have any suggestions for what you'd like to talk about or what you'd like to learn or practice, leave comments in the comment section under the video, okay? And then everyone can see it. Yeah, not just me, but other teachers can also see your comments. Other smart streaming teachers can see your comments, and it can give us some helpful ideas. So thank you so much. See you, everybody. Thank you for joining. Thank you for contributing to the class. I hope I helped you. I hope you could practice a little bit. So peace. See you next time.